Thank you. Can I turn to the vexed question of spending on the independence referendum? I don't think this is either the correct time or forum to talk about the rights and wrongs of that, and I don't expect we'll agree on it. But can I ask you, just as a matter of fact, do you think a referendum will happen by the end of 2023? Can I ask Kate Forbes first?
That is the intention, and certainly that is what we're working towards.
Cabinet Secretary?
Yes, and sorry to take issue, I'm not sure it is a vexed question. We can differ, of course, as we do, honourably, on how we would vote in such a referendum. But I would hope as Democrats, all of us believe in having democratic votes. And when governments are returned in elections on a platform for votes to be held, that we all as Democrats should agree that that's what should happen. Yes, there's a cost that is associated with a referendum. There's costs that are associated with Scottish Parliament elections, with UK Parliament elections. And it's somebody reasonably suggesting that having Scottish parliamentary elections is a vexed question. I hope not. Or UK parliamentary elections is a vexed question. Of course it's not. These are democratic votes, and as a Democrat, I respect the results of the Scottish Parliament elections last year that elected a majority of parliamentarians to this Parliament. The people voted for this, that there should be a vote, and a vote there should be. And the government has set out its timetable. I mean, I would suggest gently to Mr Cameron that it would be helpful if his UK government colleagues were not just as amenable, but also as respectful of democratic election outcomes in Scotland as former Prime Minister David Cameron was. That would be helpful, because it's not a vexed question. The decision's been made. A referendum has been asked for by the electorate, and that's what should happen.
On the back of that, there is a question as to the timetable. We know that we await a referendum bill. We know that has to be consulted upon. Legislation takes time, and there is the potential for litigation. And it is possible that either the timetable will slip or a referendum won't happen. And if that transpires, will you redeploy the funding of £20 million within the culture portfolio, given the very significant challenges, severe challenges that portfolio faces?
Well, Mr Cameron left out the other option, of course, which is that a UK government respects the result of the Scottish Parliament election and that Prime Minister Boris Johnson acts in exactly the same way as his predecessor David Cameron acts. So Scottish politics, as this Mr Cameron on this committee knows, is full of UK government saying no, 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 yes. And I would invite him to work with me to persuade the UK government to live up to their democratic undertakings. After all, they're particularly keen on going around the world saying that the UK is a democratic country upholding the highest standards of human rights, democracy and the rule of law. And it would be really nice if they did it in this case as well.
Will you redeploy the funding, Cabinet?
We're going to have a referendum. Aren't we?
I don't think we're going to make much more from that this morning.